you doing out there in TV land? Once again, you are back for the Lois and Lamar TV Talk Show. Hi. Today is a special Entrepreneur Day. We are over here at Kreamie's, the place where you can have the sweetest experience. This is Joccola.
Hello, everyone.
Everyone calls her Miss Kreamie.
Miss Kreamie's, yes.
So this is what you're going to do too. So when you see her, Miss Kreamie. This place has been here for a while now, I see, and it is a wonderful, wonderful establishment.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, do I really have to introduce you? At this point, everyone, do we really have to introduce Lois? I mean, come on. It speaks for itself. But we're going to do it anyway. Vanna White style. The beautiful Lois. You like that, don't you? I know you do.
Okay.
We like to have fun on the Lois and Lamar show. Please tell us, like, I've never really interviewed someone that has such an establishment like this, right? You really built this up from the ground up yourself?
I did. I really did. In a matter of 2 years, 2-3 years. I'd say almost 2 years. 2019 is when I started in my home. And then I went from the home to a rental kitchen to kind of alternate back and forth. And then when COVID hit in 2020, I started looking for a location because my job at that time had decided that they didn't think they had a need for my position anymore. So
You were part of the Great Reset.
yes, I was. And you're absolutely right, because I remember a time thinking, you know what, this is the perfect time for organizations to say, oh, let's get this one out, let's get that one out, let's make this change, and blame it on COVID. But for me, it was a blessing,
Yeah, you actually really took advantage of that. And for those out there that have gone through the same thing, there are different avenues that you really can take, but you really have to go within and find out what that is for yourself.
Absolutely.
And then you will be able to flourish, because not all of us are meant to work at one place for years and years on end. Sometimes something has to happen to push us through. And tell me, being an entrepreneur, how has that really affected your personal life and your relationships with people? And it's really hard on you.
Yes.
I can imagine.
Yes, baby, listen. So it has been, we opened October, right? We just celebrated 1 year, so we're going into our second year. And it has been an experience. It's been an experience. It's been a reality check. When you hear someone say, oh, be an entrepreneur now. Mind you, I was never that one to say, I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to work for anyone, because I liked my paycheck. I liked my pension, my 401k. I liked all of that, consistency.
Yes.
And I used to joke and say, I don't know if I want to bet on myself every day. Every day. But being an entrepreneur, you have to bet on yourself every day. Every day you have to wake up trusting and believing God that you'll have the strength to complete the day, that you can deal with, the various responsibilities that come along with it, be it employees, marketing, accounting. There's just so many things. And for me, I don't have a partner. So I am, like you said, I am Miss Kreamie's.
That's right.
Every decision, that comes through here is determined by myself. And because of the amount of time that you put in, and you have to put that time in. A lot of people think being an entrepreneur gives you the opportunity to come and go as you want. I can spend more time with my family, with the husband. Don't believe that. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell.
You'll be at work more than anything else.
Honey, I mean, I have been here 24 hours. Before. So that is not true. And so, these are the things that you have to be willing to go through. You have to be willing to sacrifice. I recall, I've missed funerals, I've missed weddings, I've missed events and all that stuff. And I remember my auntie here, that is my auntie, telling me, you have a business. And they have to understand that.
That's right. Lois understands business. She's not
That's right.
Yes.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah. And they have to understand that. And so there were things that I missed, and I wanted to be there, but I had to be here because you can't just leave your baby. Someone used an example of like having a child and they turn 1, they can walk. And so I can leave now. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Because there's just one. It's like saying, oh, they're 5 now. You can make your own sandwich. I'm good to go. No, you can't.
No.
And it's not to say that you have to, want over a period of time. You can't slowly wean yourself off away a little bit, which is what I'm in the process of trying to do.
Okay.
Hire, the right people that can be here where I can step out maybe a couple of days.
Yes.
So that I can effectively run my business, because right now it's not at that place where I can. And I was beating myself up listening to other people. You got to get out. You can't be there 24/7. If not me, then who?
This is not your life. You don't
That will
understand.
come into
Right. Right.
Like you said, you have to find that person that you can trust behind the counter.
Yes.
Who knows the product,
Mm-hmm.
who can present that product to that individual
Absolutely.
walking through the door.
Right.
But most of all, you have to be able to trust them.
Yes.
And the person who's willing to take the time out of their schedule to be confined
Right.
to the bake shop.
Right.
So that will come in time.
Yes. And I believe, I have to believe that, and just
It will come
really
in time.
recently had to find a sense of calm, to say stop stressing yourself about what other people
That's
think
right.
regarding your business.
That's right.
And so for me, I had to let that mindset go. Oh, I got to get out of here. I have to, at some point get out of here. No, this is the path that God gave me.
That's
And you
right.
have to walk.
And I'm walking it. And when I find pockets of time, I take advantage of those pockets of time. And then I come back and I work like a racehorse all over again.
You enjoy those pockets of time more than
absolutely.
everyone else.
Yes, absolutely.
The
I do.
quality of
Yes.
the time that you have, it's almost a gift within itself.
Yes, yes.
And I want to roll it back just a little bit. At this point in your life, at this point in my life, we cannot focus on what somebody is saying about us.
Yes.
What they think about us. It's not important. They're not paying your bills. So you have to keep that thing moving in
Yes.
the direction where you're going to profit from it.
Yes.
So you're going to miss some things.
Yeah.
You can't be at everything. I missed 4 things this weekend.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me. I tried to rest a little bit because I'm always on the move.
Yeah.
So, you have to look out for you first. You're number one.
Right. And so once you get
Everything
past
else
that,
will fall in
Right.
place
Right.
as it should.
right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, we can't worry about what nobody
Yeah.
else says about us.
Yeah.
Not at this stage of the game.
Right.
Not at any stage, but we just didn't know it.
Right.
Well, I'm talking about
You know what
the
I mean?
newness.
Yeah.
This is all new to her.
It is.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's all new to her.
Absolutely.
So, she's going to grow. I see her growing leaps and bounds. You think they're looking at her now and making comments? Wait till she jump down. She's here now, but wait till she jump down.
Yeah.
I mean, when she started, I'm sure when she started in the beginning, when it was probably just being sold out the house. And
that was hilarious.
People were really
they
like,
were.
that's when the chatters were the
Yes.
loudest.
Yeah, I can confirm that. So
I know, I get it.
So I was AVP of Business Development for a large credit union, actually your credit union, I noticed. And my job was to go out, who shall remain nameless. So my job was to go out and bring back business to the credit union, or to my team to cultivate the business. So I dealt with people on various levels, from CEOs to COOs. I dealt with the executive, and then I ended up going all the way down to deal with, not down, but like a lower level, I'll say.
Yeah, the people that nobody sees.
Yes,
and the
exactly.
people
I was
that everyone
there.
sees.
I was there. So, but it was just a lot for people to see when I first started, because COVID wasn't around
Didn't happen
in
yet,
2019. So I had started, selling cupcakes. And in the beginning, I was kind of like embarrassed, I guess, because I'm like, how am I gonna run? I'm an executive. I remember saying to my girlfriend, well, I look like an executive selling cupcakes, And I just went through a divorce. So here's my flesh. Oh, they gonna think you ain't got no money, like you left me broke. So
the ego is a hard
ego. Oh my God! But you know, this is how it hindered me. 2 years later. 2 years later is when I started. So I could have been here 2 years prior, but self got in the way. So 2 years after that thought, I started my business, and I did think still people, you know, I was a little concerned, but then after a while, when I noticed a thing called like fire, I made a post on Facebook. Remember it being a Thursday night. By Saturday, I had over 11 dozen on order. Saturday, I was up till 3, 4 in the morning making like 300 and something cupcakes by myself in my little old kitchen. And my kitchen is a nice size, but we have this little wall oven because it's a older kitchen.
Yeah,
so it's like one of those little toy ovens. Yes.
Yeah, for the volume you
yes.
That's what
Exactly. Yeah, so I go back and I look at photos sometimes, and I'm like, how in the world? But I saw a video, some kind of special, and I think it was Carol's Daughters. And there was a story about when they started, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Carol's Daughter, but they started in their kitchen. And the oven was the same size as mine, but theirs was brown. So you know how old the oven was.
Yeah.
Right. And it grew from, it wasn't even the 60s though. They just didn't change their oven. But they grew from the kitchen, just like I did, from the kitchen to the living room, from the living room to the, or from the kitchen to the dining room, to the living room, upstairs. And I remember chuckling because the husband said when they finally found a place of business, he ran around the house naked because that was the first time he had been in his house in over a year or so where there was nobody else there. Right. And so they wound up finding a location, and then later on they did sell the name Carol's Daughters, but they made a lot of money off of it because they started it. But that was me in my little kitchen. From the kitchen, and then the dining room. From the dining room, I took it to the basement because I had a little kitchenette there. So I did some work to the kitchenette, and then from there, I remember the week before moving in here, I had an 8-foot banquet table in my living room because I had ran out of space to do my 2- and 3-tier cakes.
Wow. And
it was surreal to me because I remember making the first post. I remember about the 3rd or 4th week thinking, wait a minute, I'm still getting orders. People were calling me saying, oh, I was on your page and I saw those cupcakes and I put an order in, da-da-da-da-da.
It turned into something else.
Yeah, it did. And I was a fan of like Susan. Yeah. Well, yes, my sons call me Cake Whisperer.
The cupcakes.
Yes. But it was just amazing watching how one single post turned into something crazy. And so that is when I started using the gift that I've been giving to my job at the time for myself. So I went from just making things to, okay, well, I only have 5 flavors. Let me start introducing new flavors.
Hey, like this, let me try this.
Yeah, well, I developed something called Welcome Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, we welcomed a new flavor. And people were waiting for that. And that is how I started getting my orders. So Wednesdays, they wait to see what I was going to release. By Friday, I had a full weekend.
Yeah, because you started to slowly realize, like, there's what in your ego, what you're in your mind, it's like, oh, it's not a big deal. But you gotta realize, like, once it goes out there online, right? There's people looking at it that don't know you personally, that don't know it. They just know it's a business.
Yep.
And they're going to take it as serious. Once you match up, once you start to match up, how serious they took you or how serious you took you.
Yeah. It was just amazing watching the progress of something that I thought was so small, and the time that I guess once you realize something has potential.
Yes.
It just becomes just like an innate thing to allocate time and consistency and study and all that stuff, momentum to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so something like a cupcake, it led me here. And it's still amazing. Like I get out of the car sometimes and I walk into the store like, what?
You literally took you literally took like a molehill and turned it into a mountain.
Yeah. I guess that taking lemons to make lemonade. Mm-hmm. That's exactly.
Someone throws lemon at you.
Absolutely.
You make lemonade.
Okay.
Now that's a mustard seed for you.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's a mustard seed for you.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Now tell me, what's it like being female minority in business?
Ooh, there are so many facets of being a woman-owned minority business owner. And some of it, I had experienced already being a woman minority in an executive status as far as what or how you need to handle yourself, expectations, people that approach you, how to handle conflict resolution, all of that it's essential to have those skill sets. As a minority woman. I'm gonna add one more thing in there because I'm not an old girl.
Excuse me.
So I look a little young in comparison to other people and what they may, what it might be. So you still may get approached a certain kind of way. And I mean, I have a testimony about that. This wasn't my first location. My first location that I was looking into was actually in Pennsauken. And he underestimated who I was because he saw me in tights and a t-shirt and I had like little blonde shirt cut.
People will.
And yes, and so I signed a lease and the place was horrible. There was sewer coming up through the sump pump.
Oh no, we can't eat.
There was water in the basement, leaks. It was all kinds of things, but I didn't know that because at that time the place wasn't functioning. Everything was off. The electric was off, water was off, everything.
Throw the whole place away.
Exactly. And so he thought, whatever. This minority woman who appears to be younger or whatever is just going to go away.
She needs this.
Exactly. And he saw that I was so excited, and I had contractors and all that stuff.
We're real funny about our food, Joe.
Yes. And so going into the second month, I still wasn't able to.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
We don't eat everybody fish. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is.
That's crazy.
You know. And I know you know.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, let me just tell you.
So going into the second month, there was still an issue, and God had led me here, and so I told him, I said, you owe me another month. Like, I need more time. Like, there's no time for me to get this place where it needs to be. Things still weren't done. And I said, I'm going to call my attorney. And he said, do what you must. And I did. And it's been almost 2 years, but we finally settled on that case, and I was able to get my money back.
Okay.
So that's one example of how people will take advantage of you if they think that you are of a certain caliber, but he didn't know who I know and who I was.
You don't know how you move.
Exactly. And so that's just one thing. The other thing is just relationship, whether it's you have children or, if you're married or you want to get married, all those things come into play that you have to take into consideration. And I think about them often like, well, okay, wait a minute. I'll be 50 in July. My son's 18. I have a 29-year-old who'll be 30. And it's like, I can't walk away from this anytime soon. I have another 5 years, And so meeting people that understand your work ethic, I'll say first, understand what comes with you, because I come with a lot,
You're on a mission,
Absolutely.
So they have to understand the mission.
Absolutely.
If we're even going to do this.
If there's even a conversation.
She's packaged as whims, and all of them come with a lot. So.
True.
I understand what she's talking about.
Right. I come with a lot.
In big packages.
Yeah. So there's a lot, you have to consider getting things done, finding someone to help you do them. Will you be taken advantage of, even as regards vendors, a lot of them automatically expect sometimes to speak with a male. No, I'm the owner. I can help you, and we can have an educated conversation.
In 2023,
we're still going through it.
Come on,
yes,
we can do better.
We're still going through it. So even the hiring process. If you want to hire males, and will they see that it's me, that I'm the owner, and that Mr. Thomas or Williams, whatever we're gonna be, is not coming in the door to handle situations. There are all things that you have to deal with. So it's not easy, but you have to figure out a way to juggle all those things. Yeah.
That's right.
They don't even realize, like, having a woman come through with a wonderful bakery empire. From that, like,
speaking.
if someone will come, if like a woman will come to me and tell me about a bakery empire, I'm like, oh yeah, you can do that.
Sweets, cake,
you can do that.
consistently.
You can do that. Like, why would I be worried about if there's a guy here? Like, no, you're over here baking. What are you talking about?
Oh,
like,
no. That's not the issue.
that?
The issue is usually I can handle the time, and then they realize it's 2 a.m. You're still in the bakery.
Like, they think that you can't do it. Like,
exactly.
Some of our family members do this without even being hired.
Yeah.
Some of our grandmothers and aunts, like, they used to do stuff. They would be in the kitchen for hours.
Yep.
So it's like, it's just a skill.
Yeah.
And they don't think that you have a skill.
I still do in there.
You see, it's an innate skill.
It is. Especially in our family. That's just what we do.
That's what you do.
Yeah, that's what we do. Prior to baking, I just cooked.
See?
I just cooked, and I did have another business called Blue Lyrics Cafe. And in that business, it was what we now call a pop-up. But I was renting locations, and I would transform it into like a Warm Daddy's or something, you know, like a little jazzy type place. And then I'd invite artists in, thriving artists in to perform, and I would cook a soulful meal. And at that time, my family would come in and they'd handle the artists, and my dad, when you know, God rest his soul, when he was here, he was so excited about it. He'd handle the music and the sound and all that stuff. It was just like a family affair. But then my career took over, and at that time, I was just exploring. I wasn't the die-hard, you know, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I wasn't sure about that one. When we were in, I think my last event was at the Camden Children's Garden. And I found myself walking through a parking garage with 2 watermelons and heels and a dress, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this one. Right. This is a lot. I don't know about this one. So I went for the career.
And then you realize this was already in your soul anyway.
Yeah, I never baked. It just
you just never really just like
the hustle was there.
Yeah, the hustle was already there. You just never said, you know, let me just actually bet on this and see what actually happens.
Yeah.
And once you did that, you realize like this was in your soul from the beginning, and you felt a different type of happiness.
It was completely different. I knew that this was the Lord's doing, because when I tell you, I said, we joked earlier, but when I said that I liked my paycheck and I liked the comfortability of knowing that this was going to happen, I worked hard for it, I went back to school for it, the whole 9, that is who I was.
Yeah.
When COVID stepped in and I started to see the manifestation of a business, of a brand.
You saw who you really were.
Yes. I was just like, you know what? Oh, I'm going to do this. Came with a little package. And then I tapped into my future. You know, we save up for our future. I'm like, well, this ain't enough anyway. Let me see what's going to happen now.
Right.
And, you know, I just worked because I knew that I was all I had, me and God.
That's right.
And with him, all things are possible.
Can't fail.
Right. So I took a chance, and like I said, it just caught like fire, and just the dots just began to connect.
And it was almost like magic.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this really worked. Like, I know you had times where you were just sitting by yourself.
Oh
like,
my
yo,
God.
this really worked.
I don't even know.
This really worked.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half.
Moments.
Yes, it's been a year and a half, and I lied to you not. There are times, because you're still in the process.
Right.
Like, you don't just get into a business and you're like, oh yeah, let's do this. I'm CEO, COO, You don't just get in and just jump in that way. You're still adjusting. I've never done this before.
But you know, every day that you come in here, it's a process.
Yes.
Because every day that you come in here, something different
Yes,
is
it's
in
happening.
demand. And
Yes.
you're running this whole show by
Yes.
yourself. You know?
I have employees.
Yeah,
but still,
But
yes.
you're still running the show,
Yeah,
even with
administrative.
employees, because they're not thinking like you.
Yeah.
They're not capable of doing what you do. They're not going to offer to help you.
Right.
So you're still in limbo.
You are.
Still by
Yeah,
yourself.
you're still playing.
I know
painting
that
the
from
vision.
the Lois and the Marsha. You know, If you don't do it, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
So you're always in the process.
Right. Always.
Always.
We started off with our show started off with just a conversation on the phone.
Wow.
A text message.
You're right.
Wow. That's
you
awesome.
were filming a movie and I texted you while you was on set, remember?
You're right.
But he replied right back to me.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it's truly been a blessing, and daily I have ideas and different visions of what I'd like to see transpire here. My goal is not to be in this bakery door opening and shutting business forever. I really like to focus on more online, wholesale distribution, things of that nature, because and then if I had one or two of these, that would be great.
Okay, going for bulk.
Yes.
With someone else running them for you.
Absolutely. Not with me here.
Wholesale is a bigger operation
bigger animal.
than what you have here.
Absolutely.
A big monster.
Yeah, like a little mini factory for that.
Yes, I would. So in time.
In time. So where do you see yourself in 4 or 5 years from now?
Ooh, 4 to 5 years from now, I think I'd have a better pulse on the industry, on what it is that I'm doing, and the vision that is to come. But in the meantime, there are so many small businesses that have recently opened, so many minority small businesses that have opened. A lot of them are women-owned businesses. I would love to do some speaking engagements, coaching, things of that nature, just on the side. Just because we need that help. Like, my background is finance. I've been in banking for 20-something years. And I've helped other businesses get loans. I know the process and all that stuff. But even as someone that has been in the industry for that period of time, I still discovered there's a lot that I did not know.
It's a lifelong process of whatever you do.
Right.
No matter what it is.
Right. So the Bible says that we fell because of lack of knowledge. We perish for lack of knowledge. And I think that the more we know, the more context that we have, the more stories like mine that we can listen to, the better off that we can be. I spoke briefly with someone about support within our community, and the importance of it. Not knocking someone down. If you walk into an establishment that is ran by African American owner, maybe the food's too salty, the line was too long, whatever the case might be, talk to them. Don't go right on to Google, which sticks around for a very long time, and kind of blast them out. Come talk to me. My cake dry, call me. Right. Let's make it work. Maybe I'll give you some cupcakes and another half cake. I don't know. But give us the opportunity to fix a thing, because a lot of us don't know what we're jumping into until you get into it. And you have to remember that they jumped and stayed. You never jumped. You're doing what God gave you.
Exactly.
So, give them the opportunity to excel and fix whatever it is that they need to fix.
I think what it is when it comes to those issues, we as a people, we all subconsciously, we all feel like we know each other.
Yes.
So that's why when we ask one of us if one of us is providing a service, automatically it'll be like, well, that may be too much. Or can you give me a deal? Because you feel like they feel like they know you. So if they don't know these people when they walk into these other establishments, they're really not going to come in that way.
That way, and you can feel it. Like, people walk in. I just had a phone call today, and the questions he asked me, I know you want to ask someone else that, and I get it. I get it, because I've received bad service as well from my brothers and sisters, and sometimes it's easier to go the opposite way. But you keep trying, and you keep trying to find the right connect. But it's definitely a challenge. We're not just dealing with the other issues of being a minority.
Yeah, we're not even there.
We're dealing with it from everyone, including us. Including us.
Well, Joccola, it has been an awesome pleasure.
Likewise.
To have you on the Lois and Lamar show. Tell the audience how they can reach you. I think we discussed it. Tell them.
You can reach me on Instagram, Facebook, Google, all of them. Instagram, Facebook. You can tweet me. I don't tweet a lot, but you can tweet me. I'll tweet you back. Online, I am Kreamie's LLC. However, my handle on Instagram and Facebook is Kreamie's Bakery. You can also email me at getcreamed2day@gmail.com. Yup. Get creamed with a K, K-R-E, right, K-R-E-A-M as in Mary E-D. Today, right, at gmail.com. Or you can stop by and see me at 367 West Browning Road, right here in the lovely Belmar, New Jersey.
And of course, if that was too much information for you, you know the drill. You contact Lois, Lamar. Lamar's going to make sure I get it, so, and we can tell you. One of us. Oh. He's having a Kreamie moment right there. He's having a Kreamie moment.
Don't think I'm too good
Tell
for
you how to get in touch with Joccola. Joccola, it has been a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Show. And you know, I'm praying for you.
Yes, I know, Auntie.
Because I see you growing and going and leaps and bounds. And you know, if there's anything at all that Lamar and I can do for you, just holler.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you both. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Like I said, the pastries, they make you smile.
Private moments.
That's private moments. I'm going to have a lot more of them after this too.
Can you wait till after the show?
No.
Can you blame them? You know.
It's just that good. So like if the host is actually reaching back behind the scenes to go actually eat one at the same time, you know it's the truth. Get one. Kreamie.
Strawberry perfect.
It's a yummy cup.
That voice.